Mr. Choudhury, welcome first of all.
Thank you.
Well, it's also known as Samrat X. What's the story?
Straight to the point. Long years ago, I used to write a column in the Hindustan Times in Delhi, and there was a column written by the late Sitaram Yechury, and something to do about caste, and I had responded to that, talking about how surnames in India often indicate caste. And so, after that exchange, I decided to drop my own surname from my byline. And I just don't use I didn't for a long time use my surname in my journalistic byline and on social media.
Oh, fair enough. You've written extensively on the Northeast.
Yeah.
And when you do so, what are you looking for? The intention against the backdrop of the varied issues that we have.
Yeah.
What's the intention?
We have and we had.
Correct.
And I feel that, to me, the best way to deal with a lot of these issues, we had this thing where we tended, even among friends, to brush them under the carpet. And my feeling was always that we should acknowledge that these are the issues, and as friends, as people who like one another and trust one another, to have an open and friendly and honest discussion, not in a spirit of animosity, but in a spirit of resolution. So for mutual understanding. And so that is where I was coming from. So the intention has always been to try and improve the understanding of people within the region about each other, and of people outside the region about the region.
So you know what, the issue of identity and belonging is complex, and you've mentioned in the book, but I am one of you, Northeast India and the struggle to belong. Now, as a Bengali growing up in Shillong, how easy or difficult was it for you to talk about it?
Well, I mean, it was, those were the 80s and early 90s, and that was a time when a lot was happening. And so it was a difficult time. But the thing is that my personal friendships, thank heavens, thank God, they were never strained. Even in the worst of communal riots between communities, my Khasi friends are still I love them like my brothers, and we are still in touch after so many years. I don't live here anymore, but that doesn't make any difference. The bond is there, and I feel very emotional about that. I feel very sentimental about that, because it is something special to me. So it is about that the fact that the personal bonds, despite whatever might happen in the politics, whatever, those personal friendships have endured. So across communities over time.
So I want you to talk to us a little bit about the Braided River, a journey along the Brahmaputra. What can the readers expect out of it?
Well, they can expect to learn a little bit about what it feels like to travel along the Brahmaputra. The Brahmaputra is the biggest river in South Asia, and so it's bigger than the Ganges. And in India, it's definitely the biggest river. And it's a mighty river. It's called the mighty Brahmaputra for a reason, and it travels through some very interesting places, from the China border, through Arunachal, through Assam, down into Bangladesh. So there's a lot that you can sort of see along that journey.
So if there's a genre that you would love to explore, probably, what would that genre be in terms of, what you want to do? And I'm not comparing it with other writers, but what is that one genre that you would be interested to jump into and take a plunge?
So I wrote a novel. That was actually my first book several years ago. I did a travelogue, which is the Braided River, which is the Brahmaputra. I wrote a political history, which is my most recent book, which is Northeast India Political History. And now I think I'm getting interested in, I'm thinking maybe I should go to science fiction at some point.
Science fiction?
Yes.
Oh wow. And why
It's a
so?
thought.
Why so?
Because the world is changing, and changing very rapidly. And to imagine what it will be like in so many ways is very interesting. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Shillong Literary Festival. This is your first time, like you mentioned, and you were here yesterday
Yeah.
and today. How was your session, first of all, and any takeaways so far?
I've enjoyed. I wish I could have spent more time. I unfortunately just arrived yesterday, and I've seen the sessions today, and I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. And the sessions are very good. The quality of every session has been very good, and the setting is beautiful. And, coming from Delhi, to be able to breathe clean air and see a blue sky is wonderful.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
So, Mr. Chaudhury, when we speak of books, what is that one book, other than your own, that readers should read in their lifetime, and why?
That's actually a very difficult question. If you're talking about the one book that I would recommend, not maybe the book that is coming to mind now is not an easy book. It's a well, it's not a difficult book either. It's by the philosopher Bertrand Russell, and it's called Unpopular Essays.
Unpopular essays.
Essays. It's a collection of his essays, and he calls them unpopular because he's talking about unpopular themes. Absolutely lucid, tremendously brilliant, and to me the most important part of the work of creating any art is if it stands the test of time.
I agree.
His work is still relevant. What he wrote, I don't know how many years, decades ago, is still relevant. Yeah. So it's worth reading.
Correct. So when you're not signing books, when you're not on a panel, when you're not doing interviews, what do you like to do when you come to and when you visit literary festivals rather? What do you like to do?
Well, I mean, I used to, I remember going to the Jaipur Literature Festival the first year that it opened. Yeah, that was I think 2008 or 2009, about that. And it was wonderful. It was in some sense a bit like the Shillong festival is now. It was a small festival, it was not too big, it was intimate, it was nice. It's the conversations actually that you know, and the ambience, the atmosphere, which add to the overall experience and make that thing what it is.
Mr. Chaudhury, let me hear it from you. 21st century, what do you think of the reading culture, especially amongst the youth?
I suppose I don't know how much they read, but I suspect they read less than we did. But then the world has changed, and I have to acknowledge that I myself don't read as much as I used to read. And because there are so many things which are competing for our attention and our time, and our own attention spans are shrinking, the mobile phone is taking away our attention, and there's Netflix, there's this, that and the other, so there's so much. So yeah, so I suppose, but then the thing is that it may be that people are not consuming it as a book
As much.
but they may be consuming the same kind of content, you know, through Netflix for all I care. I mean, it might get adapted into a series, and that's great. It's fine.
So, you know, when we talk of literary festivals, you know, when people come here, and I'll ask you this question, but I mean it in the best possible way. Is it only for book snobs and intellectuals? What are your thoughts?
I wish that people who haven't been to any literary festival ever would come and sit for a few sessions, see if they like it, and walk out if they don't. What's the harm in checking something out?
Correct.
And if the book snobs are the only people who show up, then what can we say?
See, okay. People listen to music because we all need an escape somewhere, somehow, right? What does writing do to you?
As a writer,
Yeah.
when I'm actually in the task of writing, so I do experience flow when I'm writing, and it's great. It is in some sense the same sort of thing that a musician in the middle of a performance probably experiences. You're really in the zone, right? And so when you're writing, if you're really writing, it's great because you're really in the zone as a writer. So the process of writing and the act of writing itself is in that sense a bit like a musical performance.
Does it make you rational at all?
Does it make you?
Rational?
It depends on what you're writing. I mean, if you're writing non-fiction, then obviously facts and logic are of utmost importance, and so you have to keep those things in mind.
So, of all the books that you've written, which one is a book that you've taken like a lot of time to finish, and why?
Every book is different, and they all there's. I mean, how do you reckon the time that it takes to write a book? So there's a gestation period, there's the research period, there's the actual writing period, there's the editing period, and then finally it gets published. And so from that initial thought to final publication, it's easily 5 years for each of the books I've written. Yeah.
So, what can the readers expect soon? Are you writing something, anything in the pipeline?
I'm exhausted now. I'm going to give myself a much needed break and just concentrate on my other day job, which is as a commissioning editor.
Since you brought up the day job, should authors probably give up their day job and get into writing full time? What do you reckon?
If they can afford to, they should. But it's only for a a tiny handful of people who will be able to pay the bills, if they have to pay the bills, by doing their own writing. And that is the case, especially in India, but it's actually in any country. And so the difficulty of finding the time to write while keeping yourself afloat is actually the artistic challenge that creative people have to face.
Finally, Mr. Chaudhury, before I let you go, if you were to describe the Lit Fest, the Shillong Literary Festival, in 3 words, what would those words be? Take your time.
It is. I see it as, I'm looking up and I'm saying, I would say blue sky beautiful.
Perfect.
That's it.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Chaudhury. I wish you the best of luck. Enjoy your the day. We've got a lot of sessions lined up. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.